Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. This is Wild West 08 with level 366. I just came back from seeing Jaws with my middle child. So, as they say in that movie, I need a bigger boat. So, I brought along the great KooshMoose to fill in.
Huh,
What's going on, my man?
not too much. Not used to seeing a moose on a boat. It's been a while.
That's why I need a bigger boat.
Yeah, significantly
Uh,
bigger boat.
how's it going? A good
It's not
2 weeks?
bad. It's not bad. There is so much to play. It's ridiculous how much. I mean, this year is insane with the games that are coming out, and Game Pass, just so crazy, just so crazy.
Yeah, I saw on the doc you tried to put 5 games on there, and I said,
I
no.
did. I did
I
try to
said,
put that much on there.
I said, let's cut some stuff and let's keep this not. Well, I won't go there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm
Anyways,
spinning too many plates. It's a little insane.
that is true. I feel like every day on my friend feed, you're the one that definitely has the most. I'm like, oh, he's playing that game and that game and that game. As I go up and just see you've won 2 achievements here and 3 achievements here.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes us a good pair. I complete games, you just start games. I mean, that's just how it works.
And I sample them.
You sample games. There you go. But everything go well. I know your daughter was starting school, right?
Yeah.
Last 2
Yeah.
weeks?
So she's back to school. It's going well this year, although she just got a like an upper respiratory type infection, and we got that under control. And I think she'll be back. So she's been out for one day, and she'll probably be out for another day, but then we'll have her going back. And hopefully it shouldn't be a big deal. I just, the beginning of the year, missing some days is can be a little bit tough. But yeah, other than that, everything seems pretty good right now.
Nice. Yeah, I know how that is. I've after we recorded the last time, my we had just started school ourselves, and my kids brought home stuff. So I had a stomach virus that was giving me some bad nausea, couldn't eat and everything for a few days, and finally started getting over that as I was editing and everything. And then my wife decided to get a chest cold from, I don't know if it was somebody from work or whatever, and had as I was recovering from the stomach virus, I just started, feeling that stuff. I was like, oh, I hope this is not turning into what I think it's going to be. And usually for me, it's like I'll get like a tickle in the throat, and then like the next day I'll be full on sick. But this time it didn't happen. It was kind of like a slow descent into hell for me.
Oof.
And then it was bad over the weekend. I was just on the couch in bed sleeping, playing my game of the week that I'm going to be talking about. But finally starting to turn the corner, and hopefully here in the next few days be back to normal and not be sick for a long time, I hope. But
You know what I just picked up? I can check off my ailment card. I'd never had before. Swimmer's ear. I just got, for the first time in my life, got swimmer's ear. I had no idea what was going on. I thought it was just some sort of ear infection or
yeah,
like earache or something. But turns out, no, swimmer's ear. Never had it. So bingo
another thing to mark off on the old man card.
on the old man card. Yep.
Oh man, I guess I've never had that either. I've been in the pool basically my whole life. Never had it either.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I got it all of a sudden, but
I guess that's what I have to look forward to in about 10 years when I reach your age. So
if you're lucky.
if I'm lucky, that's true. If I'm lucky. But yeah, they're having the 50th anniversary of Jaws out right now. I don't know if it's still going to be in theaters by the time this releases, but if it is, go see it. It's a lot of fun. It's approved by my 10-year-old daughter. She's in love with sharks right now. She had so much fun watching it. I had a lot of fun. I grew up watching that movie, so I had a lot of fun just sitting there. And unfortunately, she likes to talk during the movie, so I was like, there's people behind us. I was like, you got to be quiet, honey. You got to be quiet. I was like, she just was so excited to see it, and so I loved it. Loved every minute of it, but we are here to talk about. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask, when's the Sharknado marathon?
I don't know. I've seen like half of the first one. I couldn't even watch that one. I don't even know what other shark movies would be good.
There's shark movies, and then there's also why can't I remember the shark game?
She did see me play that one.
Okay,
Maneater.
Yeah, Maneater.
Yeah, we did. I did play that. She did love that one when I played it. I still need to go back and finish the DLC, so maybe now is a good time to get that. But
there's also like Shark World, I think, is one. That's more like a kind of like Echo the Dolphin-ish sort of 2D type thing. She might enjoy that too.
I'll have to check that one out as
Yeah, check
well.
that one out. It's on my card. If it's on my card, that's the one I'm talking about.
Well, we are here to talk about video games and achievements because things that we both are very passionate about. Um, Not a lot of news. We were kind of talking beforehand. Didn't really see much this week, other than it looks like a lot of people are enjoying to play Gears of War Reloaded and Helldivers. Those are high on the play charts. Koosh was telling me that they're high on the sales charts as well. So both for PlayStation and Xbox, which I thought was funny. I actually thinking about that. I did see a news article the other day talking about how both Xbox and PlayStation are advertising each other's game and how they thought that that would never happen in this world. So I don't know. I guess it's a crazy world we live in now.
Let's hope it continues. Let's hope we keep sharing from both sides equally. That'd be great.
I mean, they've got to see they're making money. I
Yeah.
mean, Xbox has been at the top. I think I saw at one point, was it 6 of the 10 games on the PlayStation sales charts were Xbox games?
Yep, something like that. It was
I
crazy.
mean, all the Forza and Sea of Thieves and everything, and now Indiana Jones and Starfield will be coming up, I'm sure, and all that. And then, on on Xbox now you've got Helldivers 2, who's probably one of the number one or number two game on the sales chart right now. So
Well, the MLB too, right? That's Sony as
MLB,
well,
but
right?
that's kind of more external, just because I think from everything I've heard, MLB kind of pushed them to be multi-platform. So, which I mean,
Yeah.
it's still like you're right though. As if you look at the played games chart on TA, the recent MLB 2K games usually on there. So it's being played quite a bit. And this year, even the new one was on there, and it's not even on Game Pass. So
Yeah.
the brand is strong there. Yeah, let's hope it continues. But anyways, do you want to give us our targets? We did get some
Yeah.
targets for September.
Yeah, it's a new month, so we've got new targets. F's in the chat. Wonder what that could mean. Earn
Let
three
me get my
plus
beat button ready.
be earn 3+ achievements and start with the letter F to pay respects. Bronze 3 achievements, silver 6 achievements, and gold 9 achievements. I don't think that'll be too tough. Then there's also September. Earn 7 achievements that have a 7-letter word in the achievement name. Bronze is 7, silver is 14, gold is 21. If you haven't noticed, this isn't a math podcast, but those are the first 3 multiples of 7. Next up, back to school. Earning 5+ achievements in educational and trivia or puzzle games. And bronze is 5, silver is 10, gold is 15. Something I just saw today, TA alerted me to the fact that Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader in 3 days. So by the time this podcast comes out, you've already missed it if you didn't know. But that's earning a certain amount of money on Jeff Foxworthy's birthday.
Oh,
I just
really?
thought that was so great. I don't have that game, but I kind of wish I did. I would definitely get that date-based achievement. There you go. Those are your September targets. I think Mike Pitch has already finished all of them.
Yeah,
So last
I
month
know.
last month he did them in like the last few days, and then this month he knocked them out in the first day or two.
I know. I was giving him grief because I was trying to see the numbers dwindle on how many people have done all of the targets, and then he goes ahead and just finishes September quickly. So
Yeah.
there we
One
are.
day he'll forget.
I told him, I was like, yeah, it's when you got a newborn baby, trust me, I know how those things are, where you're like, oh shoot, this was due, however many days ago. But anyways, this is X's reminder to do them, and that's all you'll get from us. All right, so we are going to head, since there is no really any news items, we are going to head into the game showcase. I will start us off first this time. The game I chose, or I have finished in the last 2 weeks, is Assassin's Creed Mirage. As many of you know, as you listen to the Game Pass section, this was recently um, released into Game Pass, and so I kind of put off buying it because I figured most of the Assassin's Creed games have been in Game Pass in one way or another at certain points. I think they have like 4 or 5 of them in there right now, to be honest, even with Ubisoft Plus. I figured they would maybe not be into Game Pass, but lo and behold, we got the second newest one in Assassin's Creed Mirage. I did a review I don't even know, probably a few months ago on Valhalla, maybe 6 months ago or so. This is a prequel game to Valhalla because the main character in this game, his name is Basim. He is a side character in Valhalla. So this game takes place in Baghdad in the ninth century, and it basically takes place right before Basim interacts with Ivor, the main character in Valhalla. And basically, it doesn't really like lead right into Valhalla for Basim, but it's pretty close. Um, and so I was very intrigued by X's review of it because he talked about how it was kind of more scaled back and not one of those big RPG worlds that seems to be getting bigger and bigger with more of the same stuff that I don't like in my RPGs. I want variety. So this one kind of harkens back to the older Assassin's Creed games before they switched to the RPG style of Origins and um, Odyssey and such. And so there's only one main map that you'll be traveling around. So, like I said, be playing as Basim. He kind of starts out as a young street thief that kind of steals stuff, and he kind of gets caught stealing something that he shouldn't get, and it kind of leads him onto the road down to the assassins and all of that, and that kind of kickstarts the game. Now, unfortunately, one of the things that I didn't like, and I feel like I've made that known in my Valhalla review, is I feel like Assassin's Creed is kind of tending more to be in this detective ancient order uh, game instead of kind of bringing in something fresh and new more often. So Origins kind of started kicking this off by doing these where you had to, instead of hunting down Templars like you did in the older game, usually there was one main antagonist that you're hunting down, and then you kind of work your way up to that. Once they kind of went into Origins and then it continued on with Odyssey, Valhalla, etc. I don't know anything about Shadows because I haven't gotten into that yet, but usually you kind of have different order members. They're called the Order of the Ancients, and you have to, kill them, and then you basically work up to the main Order of the Ancients. That's just kind of the gameplay that they've given. But we've been playing this now for 5 games, and so I feel like the gameplay is getting a little stale on that. And I wish they would have done something different since they did kind of mirror more of those older AC games. I think it would have been time to try something like that, but lo and behold, you have districts in this map with different people that you have to investigate for the Order of the Ancients that your master assassin lady gives you. And so you kind of just go through those through the story. I'm not going to spoil anything else. But one thing I did like is that they definitely pared down a lot of the collectibles and achievements in this game to not be anything too grindy. So I clocked in on my main save. I just viewed it the other day after I finished it at 22 hours. TA has me at 25, and the estimate on TA is 25 to 30. So I think it kind of that 20 to 30 hour range is what you're looking at. Story wise, you could probably beat the story in about 10 to 15 hours if you're streamlining it. You do kind of have little missions that will kind of guide you through to the order member that you're trying to investigate. So it's not just hey, you've got one, big long mission that you're doing. It's usually little smaller ones as you work your way up and figuring out who's in charge and what you need to do for them. The game does a really good job of tracking achievements in this. So pretty much everything that's not a story achievement or a one-off achievement is tracked. So you know that Koosh and I love when they do that stuff, so you can see exactly
Oh
where
my
you're at,
gosh.
right?
Yes. It's it seems like it's so rare these days.
And so easy to implement.
Yes, it should
And
be.
I will say I did not have a tracking issue once as I was playing through Mirage. You'll see some people in the forum say they did, but I didn't. I think it maybe involved certain achievements not being performed correctly, and that's why they said, "Hey, we're having some tracking issues here." There's a few of them that maybe trigger in a certain way, and so you have to do it that certain way. Or if you do something just a little off, it doesn't track it. But anytime you do collectible stuff that is for a specific achievement, it'll track it. Anytime you're doing kills a certain way, it brings in a lot of that nostalgic achievements from the past. Like there's ones for killing 10 people from a hiding spot or 10 people from hay bales and stuff like that. So every time you do it, it'll increase it by 10% or whatever the percent it needs to be. And that's why it's just not very grindy at all. You're going to get a lot of these achievements as you're playing through the game, because especially if you go out of your way to try different things on there. Um, so some of the collectibles they have are, you have to steal specific items. For a guy that's a guy from your past, you'll steal some. I think there's 18 of them around the district. They're all highlighted as you do your waypoints. They were all showed up on the map, so you shouldn't really have to go out of your way to try to just walk around the map finding things. It should just be there. There's also side quests in the game, and you'll have to steal some shards for one of the side quests. You'll have to do 10 side quests in total for an achievement, and you'll probably have to do a few more after that to get other rewards that I'll talk about in a second. But the districts in the in-game maps do a great job of showing you exactly where a lot of the collectibles are at, a lot of things are at, so you really don't have to just go wandering around hoping you find something. So as long as you go do the viewpoints right away, which you'll get an achievement when you get all of them done anyways, get those done, you should be able to find things pretty quickly. One thing they did do is, it seems like in a lot of the Assassin's Creed games, they've kind of increased the amount of items that you had, inventory you had. This kind of takes it back a huge notch, and you really just have blow darts, noisemakers, traps, and smoke bombs, and that's it, along with your uh, assassin stuff. So you really don't have to deal a lot with inventory management if you don't want to. If you want to, there's items available at the shop, swords and robes and stuff like that, that you can change things and upgrade things as well. But if you just want to play the game, there's no story achievement or story difficulty achievement at all. So you can just play through on whatever difficulty you want to, and just go have fun with it. There is achievements for upgrading your equipment, weapons, and clothes. You'll get those upgrading. I think there's three of them. There's components, steel, and leather, I believe, are the three items that you'll need to upgrade stuff. You'll get those things as you do missions and do side quests. There's chests, or there's a lot of chests around the area. I really didn't have to go farming for that stuff. But if you do the side quests, which will give you a lot of that upgradable equipment items that you need. And so as long as you're just kind of exploring around, especially using your assassin's vision thing, you'll see a lot of that stuff as you're going around the map, and you shouldn't really have to grind for that. Um, you do have a bird again in this one that'll help you find objectives on the map if you're close to them, and also you'll need to tag enemies for an achievement. You'll have to tag them 100 enemies, but that came pretty quickly. But yeah, it's a nice, quick story that they showed. It started out as DLC for Valhalla, and I guess it just kind of grew into its own story, and they released it separately. I would rate it, for me personally, I've done a lot of the Assassin's Creed games. I'd kind of rate it towards the bottom. I knew where the story was at because, you meet Basim and he's a part of the story in Valhalla, so you know where he ends up at the end of that game. So kind of going back at the beginning, I don't know. It felt like they were just trying to hit certain story beats and not really flesh out his character enough for those story beats to hit when they did come about. So I was a little disappointed in that. I didn't rate it very highly because of it. I just, as much as I had fun and not having to spend a month playing the game straight to finish it, it still lacked just a lot of things that made those Assassin's Creed 2 and the Ezio trilogy and everything, made those a lot better overall, in my opinion. So a few tips I will give before I hand it over to Koosh. The first one is, there is an achievement for that you have to get 75 knife kills or headshot kills or something like that. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm doing it correctly because I want to give you a. I want to make sure to give you a good tip for when you start this game if you want to go for all the achievements.
Yeah,
For
it
some
says
reason.
killing
Oh,
75
yeah,
guards with throwing knives. So just
yeah,
killing.
yeah. So just killing. You don't have to get a headshot. So killing 75 guards. There's a skill that you can do when you assassinate someone. If there's a guard within close range, you can throw a throwing dive at him. I would recommend to unlock that skill as early as possible because the throwing when you do the throwing knives, which you can go over to the guard and pick it up and just keep using that one without having to refill your consumables. But yeah, when you do that, I was able to get it going pretty quickly because there's a lot of guards around the same area. So I was just able to keep assassinating, killing a guy, assassinating the other one, killing a guy, without having to really grind it out at the end of the game, which some people have to do. So I would recommend unlocking that skill early. You have to unlock all the skills anyways for an achievement, and you'll be like 95% of the way there by the time the uh, story's over. So if you just do a few side quests, you'll get the rest of the stuff up. So I wouldn't worry about that. The other one is there is one missable in the game because there is an achievement for getting two of the disguises, and one of the disguises is in a story mission. And if you don't get it in that story mission, it supposedly does not is not there when you try to go back after the story mission's over. So just make sure you read up on the Masquerader achievement to know when you can unlock that one. Even though I was prepared for it, I was just so engrossed in the story mission. I almost completed the mission. I was like, oh shoot, this is the mission I need to worry about. And so I had to back up a save just like 5 minutes, and I went back and grabbed it and finished it and everything. So there's two disguises. One you'll get automatically anyways later on, so you don't really have to worry about that one. But there is one disguise that you can bypass and just kill the person in another way without the disguise. So be careful of that. Make sure you know when it's coming and everything. But other than that, that is Assassin's Creed Mirage. It's new on Game Pass. Um, it is. Let's see. It came out October 5th of 2023, so it's about 2 years old now, and made by Ubisoft Bordeaux, which is I think their first game. They were a support studio I was reading about, and I guess this was their first foray into a full-fledged Assassin's Creed game.
How far into the game is that one mission?
That is a good question. Let me pull it up and see real fast. I know exactly where it's at in here. So, all right, that is I think about halfway through the game
Ugh.
for the story.
Right. So if you do miss it, that's like at least a half playthrough.
Probably you're looking if you miss it like 4 to 6 hours having to play it just to get back there real quick.
That's not the worst,
So
but yeah, but
it's
not
it
not
is
great.
not the worst. I've done worse. Trust me
Yes.
on that. So, but yeah, it and the problem is it's not like it was really like one of those things. Like I had gone through the mission all the way, and I knew it was coming, and I knew it was on that mission, but I was just like so engrossed because it's like literally right before the end when you go kill this guy, and I was in that cutscene, and I was like, oh shoot, I was actually supposed to grab something, so I just quit out of the game, reloaded a game. I was looking through my saves, went back like 5-10 minutes, and then just went through the thing, uh, got the disguise I needed, the mark or the tracker went up 50%, and I was like, perfect, counted, and continued on and with the story and didn't have an issue.
Nice. Now, did you see the news article that came out last week about this game?
I did, and thank you for mentioning it. So there was a rumor last year that new DLC was going to come out, and that it was going to be published or was working in tandem with the not Soviet, the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It did get confirmed in the last week or two that it is coming out this year. They are updating some stuff as well with it. So it's not just releasing a DLC, but they are doing something. It's supposed to be set in a new area, I've read. So I guess they're making another area you're going to travel to or whatever. There is no news on achievements yet. So I guess we'll just kind of wait and see.
Yeah, they said, well, number one, it's free. Number two, or it's going to be free. And the other thing that they mentioned is that it's going to bridge it's going to do a better job of bridging the gap between Mirage and Valhalla.
Okay, I did not read that part, but it's very good that they did. It is hinted at the end. At the end of the game, you know how he's going to get into the story for Valhalla, but it's not really. It was just I was just very disappointed with the end of it because yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but I just me personally I was disappointed with it.
I haven't really started any of the RPG Assassin's Creed yet, so I've got a lot to get caught up on. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
potential spoilers for me.
yeah, that's hundreds of hours.
Yeah, but of course, the other good thing is that if you mention that, I'll probably forget in the decade it takes me to get to that game. So
that's that's true. You'll probably be like, "Oh yeah, I remember when they were talking about that." Oh yeah, that's right. That is
remember
that
we had physical consoles that we played games on instead of our implanted
eyeballs. Yeah,
Xboxes.
that's totally my wife too. Now that you say that, like we're watching the Mission Impossibles with my older two kids right now, slowly, and she'll be like, she'll ask me, she's like, "Well, what's Ethan doing here?" I was like, "You've seen the movie, you know what he's doing." She's like, "I don't remember," and then she's like, gets all shocked when something crazy happens. I'm like, "You know this, you've seen the movie."
That
Oh man,
reminds me. I've been watching. Not to go too far off tangent here, so stop me if I get too far. I've been rewatching since I was at the beach. I've been rewatching Pirates of the Caribbean. And so I had to get back into. I was like, oh man, I'm watching this. I want to play the Lego game because I started it. Obviously, I started it, never finished it. So let me make some progress in that. And so as I've been watching the movies, I've been going and completing the levels in the game. So
nice.
I just rewatched the fourth movie. I was like, oh, I don't remember this fourth movie at all. And we
Yeah,
get to the end of it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I absolutely saw that. But it
yeah,
took until the very end of the movie before I remembered, oh
yeah.
yeah, I've seen that. But now there's a fifth game that isn't, it's not represented in the Lego game. And I'm like, I don't know that I saw that one either. So
Yeah, that one
I'll probably be
that's funny.
surprised
Yeah,
myself that yes, I actually have seen and completely forgotten the fifth movie.
yeah. Well, there's supposed to be a sixth movie too coming out. But
Yes, they're talking about making a sixth, which is, one of the reasons I was getting so interested in it. And I have I have the other game. I think it was,
did
I
you
think it's
play
based
that?
on the,
I was actually going to ask you if you had the movie game that you played
I
because I haven't
started it.
played it.
Is it like the second one or is it the first one that it's based off of?
I think it's the third one.
It's the third one. Oh man, geez.
Let
Yeah, I
me
can't
figure
remember
out.
which one it started off of. I lost the disc. I think
Yeah, it's the
it's
third one.
in. I think it's in my old Xbox, the older style with the external hard drive. I don't remember where the power supply is for that, so I'm having a hard time, and I can't seem to find the little pinhole on the
Yeah,
drive to force it with like a paperclip or something. I think the disc is in there. I'm kind of like, oh man, I should go figure that out.
yeah,
Um, Otherwise, I'll have to pay $5 at some store to play it again. But
yeah. That one, I remember that one. I happened to actually look at that game the other day. It's Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Outwards
I,
End, okay, yeah.
I completed it in 3 days back in
Wow.
2009. And that, if you remember, you had to collect souls. Do you remember that in the
I
game at
remember. I
all?
remember I had just gotten the second character.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I really not played too much because I was playing this one on the treadmill, and I didn't want to do too much treadmill, so I didn't play the game that much. And that's when I lost it, I think, in the basement. But yeah, go on.
Gotcha. Yeah, that one had a little grindy achievement. I remember having to do that at the end where you had to collect 100 souls, you had to kill enemies, and I don't think all the enemies delivered or gave souls after you killed them, so you had to go do the same thing over and over and over again. But
Gotcha. But 3 days, you got done in 3 days with grinding.
I guess I was surprised myself when I saw that. I was like, that was before I really got into like achievement hunting and playing, so I was kind of surprised that it
Huh. Well,
took
maybe it's a
anything.
compelling game then.
Well, I gave it a 2-star rating, so
Oh,
and it's got a
well,
2.39 on TA, so it's not like I think it's just probably because of that grind at the end where you have to collect the souls.
gotcha.
Almost
Huh.
3,000 people have reviewed
I'm
it.
still, me, I'm a sucker for tie-ins, so I will be checking it out.
Yeah.
But anyways, Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Assassin's Creed Mirage, it's on Game Pass. Check it out. And I guess we'll just wait and see how the new DLC figures into all of this.
Ah, yes.
Because I don't, not all of them. I will say, in completing Valhalla, not all of their DLCs or extra content they added did have achievements. They only had achievements on about half the stuff they released because I
Oh,
was going through and I didn't play. I didn't even know it existed. Um, so I might go back and play it. But I was kind of reading through both on Valhalla and Mirage some of the story stuff, and the mentor master assassin in Mirage actually has a mission in a Valhalla. I guess they cross paths for a mission, and I didn't even know that. So, and it was the last content they released, and I guess I missed it. So I was reading through that and seeing what the story was to see how she popped up and from the Middle East over to the England area during that time period. But
all right.
yeah, so anyways, I think it's worth checking out, especially if you're an Assassin's Creed fan. But I was just a little disappointed myself. But all
That's
right, well, what do you
understandable.
got? What do you got for the game showcase this week, Koosh?
Gotcha. Well, I want to try something a little different. Normally, to give you a little backstory on me, my father was a college professor. My mother was a librarian. So I come from the stock of people that like to give all the detail. So I feel that when I give a review or a showcase, I think I might give a little too much detail. So I'm going to try to cut back on that a little bit. And I'm in order to do that, I'm starting off with some shorter games because I figure even if I go crazy, like I'm not going to go over time, hopefully. So the first game I want to talk about, and we'll start off with the most detailed in case I run too long and we don't want to go into the second one. But the first one is Minami Lane. And that is on Xbox One, X and S, and PC, and it is Play Anywhere. I think I only played it on the console, but I may have done this on the PC as well. It's so short, I don't really remember. The developer, this is fun. It's actually three developers: Doot, Blib or Bleeb Loop, and Zaku. And together, this is their first game. They're listed as three separate developers. I don't know
You
how that
having
works
a
out.
stroke there?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, first game though. This is in Game Pass Ultimate, and if you don't have Game Pass Ultimate, it'll cost you $5. So not too bad. This is a management game. So once again, a game that I normally wouldn't play, and in fact, I started it. I loaded it up when it came to Game Pass Ultimate, and I was like, "Ooh, let me check this out." As I do, I like to sample. I loaded it up. I got to like the very first day's worth of stuff, the very first level, and I saw how many options there were in the store because I opened up a ramen shop and I had to like figure out how much I was going to charge for ramen and which of like these 8 ingredients I was going to put in the thing. I said, too many options. I'm out. Like, there's too many controls here, too many buttons. I'm done. A day or so later, I saw people were completing this in 3 to 4 hours, and I said, "Okay, I'm back in." So I was a little put off by that, but I went back in, and I'm actually glad I did. It's 3 to 4 hours estimate. I think I did it in that range. I was like 3.5. And there is a walkthrough on TA now. When I did it, there wasn't, and it wasn't too bad without it. This game is really cute graphics and simple music, and very simple gameplay. That first screen kind of threw me. Luckily, it wasn't that complex. I just kind of freaked out a little bit. What are you doing? You're basically managing a street by adding a new section, and that section can be a shop, housing, like a park. I think there's also like a community building that kind of has effects on the entire town. Um, and you can only add one of those every night. So you can't add two in a night, you can only add one. And the game takes place in a day night cycle. So you'll start the day, and it'll just kind of play through. Or maybe you start the night. I can't remember which way you start. But in any case, it's a day night cycle. When it's daytime, it basically runs in real time, but you can pause it, you can speed it up, just like you would with like an RTS or something like that. And during the day, you will be looking for certain things for achievements. So there's a Tanuki. a little raccoon type guy doing something unique in the town or the village. So you click on him, you get a little bit of money. There's trash that will just kind of appear as villagers walking around. That'll give you a little bit of money, and it works towards an achievement. Every now and then you'll hear a cat, and it'll walk up and down the street and sit for a little bit. You click on it, that gives you a little bit of money. There's every now and then, once you get a little bit farther into the game, there's only 5 levels. Once you get, I think, like level 3 or something like that, 4, you'll see a bicyclist every now and then, and they'll ring their bell when they're about to come on screen. You click them, you get a little bit of money. During the day, you'll be observing these villagers as they're walking around from their apartments to the shop. And you're just looking at one street, right? This is just one street as it goes. So it's very simple to follow everybody, just track them visually. When they go to a shop, they'll come out of the shop and they'll have like a little thought bubble. You click on the thought bubble and it'll tell you what they thought. Like, oh, this is too cheap. Or, oh, that's too expensive. Or I wish that ramen had more egg. Won't tell you how many egg, but more egg. So you can say, okay, to make these people happy, I'm going to add more egg to my ramen recipe. Later in the game, that can change. Like the recipe or the preferences can change midway through the day. But that, it's getting further into the weeds. At night, you can add a new building, or you can recycle a building to get some more money back. You can upgrade the buildings. You can add to things like the beauty, or which will make people more, I think it just raises the general the general like and enjoyment of the village. That's one of the things you want to do. You want to build that level up. You can then also remember what people said during the day, and you can make changes to your recipes. Add more egg, add more noodle, take away some vegetables or whatever, some mushrooms. Change the price. Old people tend to like, I think, expensive things. They're like, oh, I don't trust it if it's too cheap. And younger people, you only have those 2 types of villagers, old people and young people. Young people want it to be cheap. So typically they'll want things to be cheaper. Older people will want things to be older. Now, you can't appease both young and old with one ramen shop. So if it's a level where you have both old people and young people, you have to have 2 ramen shops. And you just kind of tailor each one to either old clientele or young clientele. And that's how you'll kind of get through it and get everybody super happy. So like I said, during the night cycle, you'll be able to just, fidget with your village a little bit, change some things here or there, and see if the approval rating goes up during the next day. There's 5 missions, and they have different goals to complete them. Then they also have optional goals. So you could have something that says like, oh, end up with 20 villagers, which basically means you need to add housing, and you can either keep adding housing or you can improve the housing so that it will be able to take more people. Having satisfaction, making sure that your shops are meeting the needs of the people, or just adding things like parks and bathhouses to make sure everyone's, happier with the village. Or having so many shops, completing the missions in a certain number of days. That's an optional mission, for instance. And you will have to complete all those optionals for an achievement. You don't have to complete them to move on to the next day. So you can always backtrack if you're like, oh, I didn't do that in time. And with a little bit more experience, you absolutely can knock it out. Like I said, not a very tough game. As far as the achievements go, you need to complete all the missions, complete all the optional objectives for all the missions. You have to reach things like 50 beauty and 100% satisfaction. That's on a level. It's not for all of them. We're having 50 villagers, earning $1,000 in a day. These sound like they could be tough. They're not that bad. There's an achievement called Yes, you can pet the cat. You have to pet 100 cats. So I guess it should be Yes, you can pet the cats. Plural. Having 10 of 10 recipe and pricing in 4 different shop types at once, meaning, oh, my ramen shop is meeting the olds, this other is meeting the youngs, and I have these 2 bookstores that are meeting the young and the old, and these flower shops that are meeting the young and the old. And if you do that with 4 different shop types, then there's also convenience stores. So those are your different types that will meet all at once. Greeting all cyclists in a mission. So not skipping a single cyclist in one particular day. I'll have to do it through the rest of the game, just that one mission. Manually cleaning up 300 trash. This will probably be your last achievement because trash is not super common, but you will need to get those 300. I got all of my achievements through normal gameplay, although I did kind of grind out the trash and maybe the cyclists or the cats on the very last mission because I don't think it had a day target. So I just kind of let that one run after I'd met all the stuff. I just let it keep going till I finished the final objective, then end the mission. But there was no optional for doing it in so many days, so I just kind of let it run. I used that mission to get all my grindables. But if you don't want to do that, I think those achievements are gettable from the sandbox mode. So you can just fire up sandbox mode, work on the really grindy stuff, and there you go. So just a really cute play anywhere Game Pass Ultimate Game Management, Minami Lane.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm rubbing off on you. That's what 2 times in a row now you've done management games.
Yeah, but the easy ones. I'm not going to get into your Anno 1880 or whatever.
You say that now. You say that now.
It's not happening.
It's the 3 to 4 hours, and then it's the 8 to 10. That's not that bad, and then the 10 to 20, and then we'll just keep going up.
I'm not doing your Skylines. I'm not doing your Anno. I'm not.
I don't do Skylines. I'm not into. When I was younger, I did like the SimCity games, but these knockoffs now are asking you to do these ridiculous 200, 300 hour stuff. You don't need to. You don't need to do that.
But. Yeah. No, I mean, there's only so much you can rub off, and I think that's about as far as it's going to go.
Yeah. I think that's as much as the joke that we can put on here without editing stuff. So
yes,
I'm glad you like it.
Non-family friendly.
Yes, this is one that I'm definitely going to check out sometime when I need like a management game for a Target or something like that, or when it gets ready to leave Game Pass or something. But
yeah, and you can let it sit because this is really short.
Yeah,
but fun.
I'm glad you liked it. It seems to have I heard a few people play it in the Discord. I seem to all like it. I mean, it's got a pretty decent rating overall. So,
yeah, it's a cute little. From a guy that doesn't like management games, this is a cute little non-offensive management game. It will not set off too much of your management, grudges or alarms.
Yeah,
it's a fun little game. I wouldn't even necessarily. I guess it's management. Yeah, it's management, but it doesn't feel like a grindy management game. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So now back to more of what I normally play. This game is called
Herdling. Management games.
No. My old self, not my new and unimproved self that plays management. So I'm going to talk about Herdling. And this just came to Game Pass Ultimate like 2 weeks ago, right? It can't have been more than 2 weeks ago. This is from developer Okamotive. And when I looked that up to do my review for tonight, I was like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. That developer did Far Loan Sales and Far Changing Tides, 2 games that I just love. I just love the storytelling in those and the atmosphere. And wouldn't you know it, they continue to develop a game that I really like the atmosphere in. This is an adventure game. Unfortunately, it's Game Pass Ultimate, so I don't think everyone's going to get into it right away, but they could so easily add this to standard, and I can see that happening in the future. And if that's the case, I might want to check this out. It's a 3 to 4 hour investment. I've played in that range, and I would say I'm probably about 3/4 of the way through the game because I like to take my time with these things. And you'll probably learn from my experience that you can go a little bit faster than I was going. So in this game, I think you don't know if you're a boy or a girl, and that's fine. You wake up on your bed, which is under a tunnel, and there's like a highway overhead. You're hearing cars go by, and you hear some strange noises. You hear like a car alarm and just also some grunts or whatever, just some strange noises off in the distance. This is by the way, a third-person kind of 3D type game. So this isn't like a 2D game like Far Loan Sales. They've fully expanded to third person in this game. It reminds me of like Rime or Jusant in the way that you they're atmospheric and they're 3D and you're moving around. So it kind of evokes that. And also, I guess the art style is a little bit like those as well. So once again, you hear the strange noise. You kind of venture out from your little underpass tunnel, and you see what looks like a ginormous gerbil or hamster. It's taller than you, about 1.5 times taller than you, perhaps. And it's got these crazy spirally horns that kind of go straight out. And that is what they call a calicorn. And this guy, much like the raccoons and the and such that get their heads stuck in a bucket, this guy's got a bucket stuck on his head, and he's having a real hard time getting out. So you start off by interacting with this guy. He runs into a tree, knocks a branch down. You pick up the branch, and amazingly, you can use that branch to now herd him to get the bucket off, and then give him directions, and he'll follow them. And yes, you can go pet him. There's an achievement for petting your calicorns 10 times. Maybe you'll get that in the first 2 minutes because you just love petting them. I don't know. I kind of just pet one calicorn at a time as I was going, and that's how I eventually got my achievement. The way the game works, it's very simple. You give them directions. You tell them to go. You tell them to stop. And the way you do that is by standing opposite of where you want them to go. So if you want them to go between these two posts, you stand behind them and you kind of face the post and you go boom with right trigger, go that way. You can click it once. They'll kind of go off on their own. They won't go super fast. Or you can just hold down right trigger and just keep moving. And you can continuously steer them as you're going. The levels in some places are constricted. So you're going through like alleyways or streets. Once you get out of town, though, things really open up in these huge fields, these huge meadows. And I'm the type of person that goes, oh, if you've got a corner in this field that's way over there that I can see, I know I can get to it, I'm going to go look because you've got a collectible or something there. Well, this game doesn't do that. So here's how I'm going to save you time. Just play the game. Don't worry about collectibles. Just play it for the atmosphere, play it for whatever the story. The story is all told through just what happens in the game, just the actions. There's no voiceover. There's none of that. There's characters. You're not talking to the calicorns. They're not talking back to you. You're just kind of experiencing the game just from the visuals and the sounds. Game type that I really enjoy. But you don't have to go search every corner of the map because I did that for you and there's nothing there. So just enjoy the beelinings from beginning to end of the game. If you want to go hit the corners, absolutely do it. But I'm going to tell you, there's no need. And you're going to be like, oh man, why did I go all the way over here for nothing? So don't worry about that. As you continue down the game, you'll open up new commands that you can give them. You can give them the command to stampede. That's how you'll get across fields very quickly. Your calicorns will run out of stamina and they'll no longer be able to stampede. So what you do is you run through, or you have them run through these blue flowers that are on the ground, and you'll see a little icon for each one of your calicorns, and you'll see that's basically your stamina bar for the entire herd. And it'll start to fill up with blue, and that's how you know you've got full stamina again. You can keep going multiple times. It's just a neat little indicator they have there. You'll also be able to see if any calicorns are damaged, because if you hit some brambles or some barbed wire or something, they can take a little bit of damage. They'll turn red. They'll get blood on their fur. You can heal them by grabbing some food and feeding them. You can get the brambles off of them so they're not dirty. These are all things that you can do, and you have to do for achievement purposes. You have to make sure that they're clean. You don't have to manage it too carefully. You can just kind of do that when you get to a campfire in order to get the achievements, but that is there. There are some missable achievements, but they can easily be cleaned up after the game is over via chapter select. I have not finished the game yet, but I did do that research and saw that, oh, no, you can absolutely just go back to chapter 3 and do this one thing here. If you, for instance, there's one level where you have to navigate through a forest and not knock over too many cairns, right? If you knock over too many cairns, you anger this creature, comes and it hurts one of your guys. And that voids the achievement. So if you didn't get that naturally on your first playthrough, just go back to chapter 3, do that little section, boom, the achievement pops. Okay, go on to the next one that you missed. So it's very nice for achievement hunters in that way.
Nice.
I fully recommend you just go through the game naturally, experience all the game has to offer. Maybe pay attention to those achievements and try them. And if you don't get them right away, don't worry about it. You can go back and get them in just a few minutes. Otherwise, you were going to say something?
No, I said that's really nice. I always appreciate when they do that instead of like, the Assassin's Creed one where you miss
Yes.
it, you're screwed. You got to
Where
go
it's a
back and then
6-hour journey to get back to that point. Yeah.
yeah. I don't understand why they feel like it's just like when they add achievements for speed runs. It's like, why are you forcing me to play a certain way? Just let me play how I want to play, and
Yeah.
then we'll go from there. But whatever. I like that.
Absolutely. Like you were saying with Mirage, the achievement tracking, this game doesn't really do achievement tracking very well. I should go back and say, I think Minami Lane did have achievement tracking for the progress, but Herdling doesn't seem to do that. I checked it right before I jumped on to see if it actually had the tracking, and I don't think it does. One gripe I have in the game is that you have collectibles that are harnesses and decorations, and also you have to have food to feed your guys. They all look very similar, and I had a real hard time telling the difference between them. Luckily, there's good guides that tell you, oh, here's where the harnesses are. You don't really need to know where the decorations are because there's more than you need for the achievement. But still, I just thought graphically, they could have made them a little bit different. They could have made the pickup points for them significantly different. And maybe I'm just not observant or whatever. But when I was looking at them, I was very confused. Like, oh, was that a harness or was that a decoration? I don't know. But I've only found one harness so far. I checked the little guide that tells me what level they're on, and so far that's right. I've only supposed to have found one, so maybe they look a little different as you go. But just be warned, that part, at least for me, is the only negative I've seen so far in this game. It's just that I wish that was a little bit more different. The achievements, there's an achievement called Herdcore, and that is for not losing any calicorns throughout the story. So you might say, oh, but you told me just to go to the end, play through, and not worry. Well, okay, yeah, I did. And the reason for that is because if you accidentally lost a calicorn, what you can do is finish the story, start a new game, and start from the final chapter. If you do that, you will not have lost any calicorns. All 10 calicorns will be there. And you just have to make it through that level without losing them. So it's not a full playthrough. You can kind of cheese it on your second playthrough of just the final level. And you should be good to go. So Herdling, I'm having a great time with it. It's very much a me game. I really love the atmosphere and the exploring, and the not having to read a bunch of story. I can just kind of experience the game at my pace, and I'm really loving it.
Nice. Yeah, that's one that I was before I ended up doing Mirage and Dredge. That was one that I was kind of looking at.
I had seen some early screenshots, and I think I just kind of inferred the wrong thing from it. I thought it was a thing where you were just herding sheep into a pen, and the game was all about getting the right angles and not running into obstacles.
Yeah.
But then as it was getting closer to actually having it on Game Pass, I saw, oh no, this is like a 3D adventure game. And like, I was just like, okay, now I'm in. Now I'm really excited about this. I won't say it's the greatest game in the world, but a 3 to 4 hour adventure game that's like super atmospheric. Yeah, that's what I like. I love that, getting that stuff in Game Pass, especially since it's a $25 game. I think I'd be a little bit upset if I paid $25 and only got like 4 hours or 5 hours out of this game. But getting it on Game Pass is great. And if it was $10, $12, I think I'd be okay with that too.
Now I gotta say, TA says you have almost 4 hours into it, and only half the achievements.
I've checked all the corners though, Wild West. It doesn't tell you that I've been to every corner.
Oh wait, let me see. Is there an achievement for that?
There is no achievement for that. No, but there's an asterisk next to it. I will tell you, I knew about one achievement, which is getting to I think it's the second level, second or third at the most. I think it's the second though. And at the end of the second level, getting to a place in a certain amount of time without really knowing the mechanics, you're probably not going to do it naturally. That is one you're going to have to go back to, or know what the achievement is ahead of time and then kind of work towards it. That's all I'll say about that.
Gotcha.
And I didn't get it naturally, even though I knew it was there. I didn't read carefully enough to be like, oh, that's exactly what I have to do, because I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to play the game.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a dreaded attain all other achievement, but it looks like it unlocks.
But I think it unlocks, yeah.
So that's good, but that seems to always have an issue for some reason. But well, two good games that are both ones that I know for myself I will check out in the future. That was Herdling that he just talked about, and then the previous one was Minami Lane. So both of those are on Game Pass right now. Go check those out. They are 3 to 4 hour games, both of them. And Minami
No,
Lane has a
yes. Sorry, they are both 3 to 4. Sorry, I was thinking about
You're
place.
good. You're good. And Minami Lane has a walkthrough if you are so inclined to that. So I'm sure Herdling, if it's that short, will get one someday.
Yeah. I was looking at walkthroughs on other sites, just T doesn't have it yet. Someone's going to steal the stuff.
Oh, it is. So, it says
collate it.
If you go on the tab for the walkthrough on Herdling, it says there's one in development.
One in progress? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be out soon. But anyways, go ahead on what you were saying.
Oh, that's all I've got.
Okay. All right. Well, that is our game showcase for the week. So check those games out if you're interested. Got quite a variety of different genres there. I tried to get Koosh to record yesterday, and he said absolutely not, because I know Game Pass is going to drop some news today. And of course he was right, and of course, we had to wait for that to appease the moose. So Game Pass, our first wave, has a surprise drop of I Am Your Beast. This is on console, PC, cloud, play anywhere, and it looks like it's the same dev and style as El Paso Elsewhere, which is a game that received some critical acclaim. Yeah. I have not read any articles on this. Did you read anything today about this game at all?
A little bit. I watched a trailer for it, and it's like it's a first-person shooter, but like with a lot of style. So it's like, how do you get these stylish kills done? Kind of like in a flow state. Kind of like zip through this level, do this thing, grab the gun, headshot, go up high, headshot. So if you're into that type of gameplay, that's, I think, what I Am Your Beast is.
Gotcha. We also had 9 Souls on console. So that's play anywhere as where, platformer, Metrovania, 30 to 35 hour. One difficulty based achievement on this for beating it in standard mode. It looks like changing the difficulty during your playthrough voids the achievos. So
yeah,
don't do that. Let's see. We could skip this next one, right?
No.
Anything on that? Cataclysmo on PC on Game Pass Ultimate. On Steam says it's a city builder, so that's definitely something that would be interesting to me. Maybe a 30-hour completion or 30-hour story playthrough there. So and that's all we got, right? I don't think there's anything else coming out on the Wave 1.
I'll get it on the way back. Don't worry.
All right. Why don't you introduce the last one, since it's something you really like?
So by the time you get this podcast, Hollow Knight Silk Song will finally be out. It will finally exist, and you can buy it, I think, for $20. So fantastic, bargain priced game. It's Game Pass Ultimate. It's coming to Game Pass Ultimate. So if you've only got standard and you want to play this game, you're going to buy it. I don't know how many hardcore Metroidvania fans there are out there, but people have been waiting. This is something we didn't think was going to happen, or was seeming like it was not going to happen. Just so you know, Void Heart was 60 to 80 hours. So that's, I don't know. Is it going to be shorter? Is it going to be longer? I don't know. But that's where Void Heart came in. So you can expect maybe that same amount for Silk Song. I don't know. I'm very excited. I'm just glad it's going to exist, and I'm going to be able to fire it up and look at it and not play it this week.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just being honest.
You got to beat Void Heart first, don't you?
Yeah, I think I do. I may pop the first achievement in Silk Song just to get it on my card. just because, and just because I want to. I've been waiting so long to get that. Really, one of the reasons I'm so excited is I got it in final or in Fantasy Critic. So we do this little side thing. It's kind of like with you and your sports fantasy leagues, but with Xbox games and just games in general for across all the consoles. We kind of draft these games. I've drafted Silk Song once or twice before in previous years and just got burned because it didn't come out. I got it this year, so it's my game in the draft. So I'm super excited. That's another reason I'm very excited for this game. I got it. People hate me. I understand that, but now I know why. This is a good reason for them to hate me, whereas previously I wouldn't have understood it. But I understand jealousy and anger. September 10th, Paw Patrol World is coming back. It's console, cloud, and PC. It's Game Pass standard. It is a play anywhere game. It's action adventure, 6 to 8 hours, and there's a walkthrough on TEA. So if you didn't get it before, you get another chance.
Yeah,
September 16th.
That's an interesting game that they decided to bring back.
Yeah, I guess they're just trying to expand the kid-friendly portfolio. And there's a new Paw Patrol game slated to come out, I think, this year. So hopefully that won't come to Game Pass too, so I don't have to spend money on it. So I'll be looking forward to that. Maybe they'll just roll one of these Paw Patrols out and bring that one in. I can hope. A boy can dream. September 16th, Roadcraft for Xbox Series X and S and Cloud. This is Game Pass standard. It's a simulation game and it's 200 to 300 hours. I think I should have done my research, but I think it's like road maintenance. So like, oh, this road is getting potholes and stuff, so you need to fix it. I could be completely wrong. Maybe it's Mad Max. I don't know. 200 to 300 hours. I don't know that I'm going to play it. But maybe
that sounds like it's par for the course then. It's about as long as it takes to replace potholes anyways. So, God, I swear.
But yeah, so that's wave one.
Leaving Game Pass so that you'll have until the 15th of September. All You Need Is Help, which is Game Pass standard, play anywhere. Puzzle party game, 12 to 15 hours. There is a walkthrough, a couple of RNG achievements. I believe you've finished this one, right?
I did. I played it with a group, and you need to get enough money in order to kind of help yourself with these last couple of achievements that are RNG, totally RNG based. And you can, rather than accruing a ton of money, you can get like the minimum amount of money you need and then just use save scumming with the cloud save in order to make sure that every roll you keep is one that has an item.
Gotcha. Yeah, I looked at that one. I don't think I'm going to do it, but anyone is interested, that is definitely.
If you don't have a group, I can see skipping it. If you do have a normal play group, it makes it much more attractive.
Gotcha. The next one we have is Wargroove 2. That is Game Pass standard, play anywhere, a strategy turn-based game. Not a lot of completions I'm looking at right now, 68 and only 8,000 starters. But it's a 25 to 30 hour completion time. So, but with so few people completing it, who knows if that's too accurate. But it looks like it's Advanced Wars, but on Xbox.
Yeah, if you remember that Nintendo DS game, Advanced Wars.
Yeah, I loved Advanced Wars.
Yeah. Now I didn't play both of them, but that was my understanding. It's like this is the Advanced Wars we have at home.
Yeah, that is one that I have on my wish list. I want to get because they did a remaster or whatever for the Switch. I wish it'd come over to Xbox, but they did a remaster of Advanced Wars 1 and 2. But it's, as I've been tracking the price, it's stayed at like $50-$60. It hasn't dropped too much as I've seen it. So not worth it to me, but I played that game so much. I remember road trips. I'd play that game and just have a lot of fun on it.
Well, if the Wargroove series is a good replacement, they're pretty cheap. They're bargain price, like $20 each, I think.
Yeah, I might have to look a little bit more. I'm definitely not going to be able to play it. I've got too much stuff going for the next 2 weeks. So, because the next game on my, what I probably will put a watch. I'll probably do that real fast here. The next game or the last game on the list is We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie. And I know a lot of people have talked about this game on the Discord or other forums for TA and other things. It's one that I think I want to try to get done in the next 2 weeks. This is an action game with a 12 to 15 hour completion time and a walkthrough because I have not done any of the Katamari games before, but I know people really like them. So I
Have you
thought, hey,
watched video?
I have watched some videos, yes.
Okay, so you're not completely going in blind.
No,
Okay.
not blind. Like I haven't done a ton of research and a ton of watching videos, but I have watched some to know what I am doing or what I'm getting myself into. I guess
Yeah,
I should
so
say.
the gameplay is really fun, and some people really like the wackiness of the king and the prince talking, mostly the king talking. But I kind of find that after a while, I kind of get tired of him talking, and I just skip all dialogue, and it doesn't matter. So if you want to hit that 12 to 15 hour mark, you're probably skipping the dialogue.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. So I'm gonna look at doing that. Maybe I will decide not to do it, but that is the one out of all the ones that I was gonna do for this time. That was probably gonna be the one that uh, that would be mine that I would do. So let me did
I
that real
would find
fast.
I would say this game is more of a kind of like a relaxing play game. I mean, even though you are trying to complete levels in a certain amount of time, that part's a little stressful. But as far as like, oh, do I want to just bang this thing out in one solid go? No, I do not. Like, I would much rather just chip away at this game and play a level here, play a level there, and enjoy it that way. So I don't know if like trying to rush this one at the end of Game Pass is going to be good. What I would recommend to you and maybe other people is play it on another tag. If you are a completionist, play it on another tag initially and just see if this is the gameplay you want to play, and then just buy it, because I don't think you want to slam this thing out in one sitting, or 2-3 sittings, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, I will. I'll think about that and see what I do because I just started a big game that I'll talk about in 2 weeks. At least the first part of it, and yep. So that's what you got coming and going from Game Pass. Hopefully, we'll get some additional news the next time we record as well that we can share. But I didn't really see much else to talk about other than wishing a big congratulations to Redemption Denied for getting to 10 million TA score. So
Oof.
that's pretty crazy. But yeah, first person to do that, and then got 6.6 million gamer score on Helldivers 2. So did watch that video of him doing that. So congratulations all around there. Um, yeah, I didn't really see much else. See anything else yourself?
No, I nothing sticks in my memory. No. So if we missed you, if we missed your shout out, and you really want us to mention, make sure you tag us, because then it's hard for us to forget that. Harder for us to forget that. We can still totally forget it, but it's harder.
Yeah. Well, I guess we got a big task ahead of us in the coming weeks because we somehow got to get Ariana Grande on the show for Mike Pitch so he can join us as well.
Yeah, or maybe we don't.
Or Anna
I'd be
Kendrick.
okay with
It would
not.
be a little easier.
But, her rider is so extensive. I think maybe not.
Oh man. Well, we hope you enjoy the next 2 weeks. Enjoy your playing your games and whatever else life has for you. I've been Wild West 08, joined by KooshMoose, and this has been level 366. Any feedback or questions or anything, join us in podcast discussion and Discord. We'd be happy to continue the conversation there about anything that you want to talk about. We've enjoyed all the conversations, and Mental Night is wrong on everything. Goodbye, guys. We'll see you later.
Good night.
See ya.
He's always wrong.